Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Social Quiztancing, our tiny little bit of trivia to keep your brain happy and healthy and bopping around while the library is still closed to patrons. So hope you guys are all doing well and you're safe and healthy and getting outdoors as much as you can in this really terrible heat. Hope you're ready for some trivia questions. So like every week, I will be giving you 5 general knowledge questions, 5 connections questions, where I give you 4 apparently random clues, and you have to find the hidden connection, and then 5 questions in our special round that changes every single week. So, without further ado, let's get to the questions. All right, in the general knowledge round, you get 1 point for each correct answer. Which word links the titles of a 1786 opera by Mozart, a 2018 novel by Tayari Jones, and a 2019 film directed by Noah Baumbach? What word links all of those things? Number 2, how did Google capture its street view of the Arabian Desert? How did they capture that street view of the Arabian Desert, and how frequently is the street view of the Arabian Desert used? That's not a question, that's just my rhetorical wonderings. Number 3, who is the woman with the most quotes in Bartlett's familiar quotations? Who is the most quoted woman in Bartlett's familiar quotations? Number 4, in 1796, when the smallpox vaccine was developed, what percentage of all worldwide deaths were attributed to the disease? Is it 0.1%, 2%, 8%, or 13%? These are worldwide deaths attributed to smallpox in the year that the vaccine was developed. Number 2, as we know, there are now 0 worldwide deaths for smallpox because of the vaccine, and because smallpox has been eradicated. Only 2 infectious diseases have been eradicated through human efforts. Smallpox, clearly, is one. What is the other? Those are your general knowledge questions for this week. And now we move into the connections round, where I give you 4 apparently random clues, and you tell me what the hidden connection is. So if I gave you John, Paul, Scarab, and Dung, you would tell me that they are all beetles. So give yourself 5 points if you get it after a single clue. Give yourself 3 points if you get it after 2 clues, 2 points if you get it after 3 clues, and 1 point if you get it after all 4 clues have been seen. This point scourge is confusing and I don't know why I do it, but that's how I've been doing it, so I feel like necessary for those of you that like pedantry like I do to continue. Okay, so I will be showing you the clues in order. Let's begin. Number 1 in the connections round. Richard Gluckman, Arata Isozaki, Frank Lloyd Wright, and Frank Gehry. What connects those 4 things? Number 2. Bob Arctor, Douglas Quayle, Horse Lover Fat, and Rick Deckard. Bob Arctor, Douglas Quayle, Horse Lover Fat, and Rick Deckard. What connects those 4? Number 3. Jacinda Ardern, Kim Jong-un, Sana Marin, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Sebastian Kurtz. connects those 4 people. Next, this is number 4. Mysterious Dave, John C, Increase, and Cotton. Mysterious Dave, John C, Increase, and Cotton. And lastly, in a wrestling match, nobody bites like. In a spitting match, nobody spits like. No one's neck's as incredibly thick as. And who can make up these endless refrains like? What connects those 4? Apparently random clues. Okay, so for our special round this week, we have rhyming journeys. So I'm going to show you a map, and on it will be 2 places indicated. 2 maps, sorry, and each one has a place indicated. Those 2 places rhyme. They could be cities or countries. So you tell me what they are based on the maps and the fact that they rhyme. Okay? So, for instance, if I showed you a picture of York in the UK and then I showed you a picture of Cork in Ireland, you would say York and Cork. Those are the rhyming journeys. Okay? So let's give it a shot. We'll see how it goes also because I did these on my computer and I put little red dots on them and then I realized I don't have a color printer, so they're a bit gray. So you'll have to bear with me here. So this is the first. And it rhymes with this. That's the first. Number 2, we have this, and then this. And you just tell me what these rhyming places are. Number 3, you can hear the tumult in my household at the moment. Number 3, here's the first place. And the second. So these 2 places rhyme. Number 4, this and this. Hopefully you can see the little dots. And lastly, this and this. These 2 places. Okay. Now's the time, now's the part of the show where I will read you the answers. So, if you would like to not know the answers, please leave now and come back later if you'd like to have more time to work on them. But if you do want the answers, just a warning, I'm about to read the answers. So, let's get going. Okay, so to begin the general knowledge round, I asked you, number 1, which word links the titles of a 1786 opera by Mozart, a 2018 novel by Tayari Jones, and the 2019 film directed by Noah Baumbach? And that word is marriage. So that is The Marriage of Figaro, An American Marriage, and Marriage Story by Noah Baumbach. Number 2, how did Google capture its street view of the Arabian desert? And that is on the backs of camels. So you've seen the Google car potentially driving around or seen pictures of the Google car. Imagine that strapped to the back of a camel, and that's how they got the street view of the Arabian desert. So that's how they did that, which is cool. Number 3, who is the woman with the most quotes in Bartlett's familiar quotations? That is Emily Dickinson. Emily Dickinson. The narrow fellow in the grass, and hope is a thing with feathers, and all that. Most quoted woman in Bartlett's familiar quotations. Number 4, in 1796, when the smallpox vaccine was developed, what percentage of all worldwide deaths were attributed to the disease? Was it 0.1%, 2%, 8%, or 13%? The answer is 8%, nearly 8%. I think it's something like 7.6 something percent of all worldwide deaths attributed to a single disease. It's insane. But humankind eradicated it, maybe in the most amazing human endeavor ever. And it eradicated it in the 20th century. So only 2 infectious diseases have been eradicated through human efforts that we know of. Smallpox is one, and obviously the most famous, but what is the other? The answer is rinderpest. Rinderpest is a disease of cattle, so sort of cattle and buffalo and ungulates just in general. Horrible disease that promotes food scarcity and all of that stuff. So that was eradicated in the 20th century as well. All right, and now we move to the connections round, where I give you 4 apparently random clues, and you tell me what the hidden connection is. So first we have Richard Gluckman, Arata Isozaki, Frank Lloyd Wright, and Frank Gehry. What do these people have in common? And they all designed Guggenheims. So this is Berlin and Bilbao, and both Franks in New York, I think. Number 2. Bob Arctor, Douglas Quayle, Horseliver Fat, and Rick Deckard. What do these have in common? These are all protagonists in Philip K. Dick works. So Bob Arctor is from Through a Scanner Darkly. Douglas Quayle is from We Can Remember It For You Wholesale, which became Total Recall, my favorite Schwarzenegger movie. Horseliver Fat is from Valus, and Rick Deckard is, of course, from Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which became Blade Runner. Number 3. Jacinda Ardern, Kim Jong-un, Sanna Marin, I think I'm saying that right, but I'm not 100% sure, and Sebastian Kurz. What do they have in common? These are all the youngest currently serving world leaders. Jacinda Ardern of New Zealand, Kim Jong-un, of course, of North Korea, Sanna Marin of Finland, and Sebastian Kurz of Austria. Varying levels of quality amongst these. Jacinda Ardern and Sanna Marin, of course, or Jacinda, famous for their excellent responses to the COVID-19 pandemic. Number 4, we have Mysterious Dave, John C., Increase, and Cotton. What connects these 4 clues? They are all famous Mathers. So famous people with the last name Mather. Mysterious Dave Mather, which is an excellent name, was a Old West gunfighter. John C. Mather is an American Nobel Prize laureate who did work leading to the Big Bang Theory. And Increase Mather, of course, he was a president of Harvard University, and more famously was the father of Cotton Mather, who did wonderful work with vaccination and inoculation, but also had sort of a Salem witch trials issue. Yes. Okay. And lastly, in a wrestling match nobody spits like, or nobody bites like, in a spitting match nobody spits like, no one's neck's as incredibly thick as, and who can make up these endless refrains like. These are all, of course, things about Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. An excellent song. Okay, now we come to everyone's favorite rhyming journeys. So I gave you 2 places with pins on the map, and you have to tell me what those 2 places are. They rhyme with each other, which is how you can hopefully figure it out. We have these 2 lovely places to start off with. These are, of course, Austin and Boston. Next, we had Armenia and Slovenia. Armenia and Slovenia. And we had Aruba and Cuba. Aruba and Cuba. Rome and Nome. Rome and Nome. And lastly, the Gambia and Zambia. The Gambia and Zambia. So those are our rhyming journeys for this week, and that also concludes the quiz for this week. So hope you did well, hope you had fun, and learned a thing or two. As always, catch us back here at 6 o'clock on Wednesdays. If you have any quiz questions you'd like me to use on the show, or anything you'd like to know the answer to, or if you just want to let us know how you're doing and how many points you've got, let us know, and you can email Ryan at Desmond-Fish-Library.org, or you can comment on any of our social media accounts. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Bye!